Hello, good morning, and welcome to the exciting time to talk about the best of stories in the world of sports. It is Sports Central, and my name is Vladimir. Exciting times ahead to look forward to all the talking points that appeals up from the weekend moving to this week. And one of the key conversations we were talking about was centered around the English Premier League. Manchester United, that was continues with an exciting story from a Nigerian point of view. First would be the junior female Yellow Queen showing class and dominance after the first game against Samoa was disrupted because of rain. It ended a draw 1 point for them. They found a way to have their first win at the T20 ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup, and it makes all the difference, beating New Zealand by 2 runs. A similar conversation from a Nigerian point of view would be a Will Aimba Football Club being beaten out of the CAF Confederation Cup. It will be a conversation today looking at the world of tennis as well as the world of NBA. Well, fascinating times ahead. Some kind of shake-up we have on the show today. Fonitina on the bench this morning, and Akanemo Kufre joins the conversation quite early this morning. Akanemo Kufre, so good to see you being the guest.
Good morning.
Early show for
Happy
you.
to be here because of the exciting news from all the way from Malaysia.
I think he looks very happy.
You can say that.
He looks all cricket.
You can say that.
Good morning, David. Good morning. So good to
Excellent
see you.
morning to return to apply.
All right. Well, still on the show today, if you're creating a movie, joining the conversation to talk about all the exciting stories that's taking place, especially, most importantly, from the world of cricket. And we'll look at some details around American football, and we begin there. Well, the American football competition, national competition that took place in Cross River State, took center stage and it spanned for a while. And we've talked about it from last week, but a crescendo of it happened on Friday, and we saw the action getting to a tipping point. And the question was, defending champion not being able to win it, Team Akwa Ibom. Despite the fact that a new school had to represent Akwa Ibom in the national competition, previously was a team from Ekate, and this time out, it was a popular comsecom that have been doing quite well, known as Community Commercial Secondary School, Ibiaku Itam, showing class and dominance, but they couldn't win it. They finished second. I was speaking to the coach of the side and the trainer of the side recently, and they said, look, the boys and the girls prepared for just 3 months, and they were able to go conquer and finish second. We'll get to see the videos of their triumphant entry back to the school and the entire celebration that's taking place. Every one of the students coming out, celebrating with all of them, and simply fantastic, making all the difference. It sounds like good news, things we always love to talk about in the world of sports. So we're talking about catching them young. Akanemo, let me start with you on this one now. We saw the performance of the lad, what they've been able to achieve, and despite having just 3 months to prepare, going to this tournament and going all the way, I would call it a win for them because they got to the finals, despite losing to Lagos State in the boys and girls category, the male and female category. But good, interesting feature, quite an inspiration for the rest of the kids.
Yeah, you can see the excitement there on screen, and it all comes out from what you always call use it or lose it. Don't ever play with the opportunity given to you, especially the young people. Thanks to the people, the organizers and the coaches, the games master and the school authorities that gave these children this opportunity, and I think they did good use of it. So in Calabar, they almost won the game, but the technicality did not favor them at a point. At some point, maybe as their coach did say, that the rules was changed in the final game, whereas they were preparing with a particular set of rules to play this flag football and retain the trophy. But all the same, they had a triumphant entry into their school. Well,
massive perspective there. David, let's just have a conversation about this before Ifeoma gets to join the conversation this morning. Well, something quite inspirational. This school has been a frontier when it has to do with national team football and national football. They have some girls and some of the boys are part of the cricket team. At some point, I think last year it was the national Milo basketball in Nigeria. And it's been such an energy, such development. And it brings what we've always talked about, catch them young.
Well, I think, of course, this is actually a ground that would also serve as inspiration for other schools, not just in the Akwa Ibom State, but across the country to also try and, of course, get to what these boys are doing, try and, of course, implement it in their various schools, just like we've always talked about over time. It's an inspiration for the young lads, I must tell you, at the moment. And I feel at the moment, there's still also, of course, a case where even the younger lads who are not here tend to look at the younger lads and say, come on, if they're here, then definitely I can also make it right here. with the limited resources they have in that school, because I've actually gone there before as well. Look at the pitch. I think the other day we were talking about, of course, a cricket pitch over there, what not up to standard, though it was actually, of course, under the developmental phase. So if we actually have, of course, pitches, sports grounds that are up to that standard, we can actually see these boys do even better than what they're doing, even with limited resources. They're doing this, making the nation proud. And I must say, they actually, of course, merit this particular victory. And going forward, I'm looking forward to seeing how they can forward, of course, develop not just at this grassroots level, but even to a professional level as well.
Even to a professional level as well. And quickly, let's join, if you're operating in this regard, if you're operating with Game Master of the Community Commercial Secondary School, a journalist, a sport journalist in that regard in the Bible. And in terms of the performance, we've looked at how they perform at virtually all the sports. If you're operating, good morning, many questions for you. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Biden. Good morning, Bible.
All right, and not just good morning to our Bible, all across Nigeria and some parts of Africa. It gets even exciting to have this conversation. And I wouldn't want to ask you how exciting it is for you, especially when you see your lads perform quite well. But what does this mean for our Bible in that regard? I was speaking to you early hours of the morning, and you said the preparation towards the tournament was just 3 months for the boys and girls. And I could see the excitement from the clips we've seen the rest of the students coming out quite excited about all of this that's happened in the school. And now I would also put that side by side with the drive for you and the school, what you're doing in that direction to support the young lads. What does it mean for you? Let me start there anyway. What does it mean for you and the school and Akwa Ibom in that direction?
You know, I should be there in the studio also doing the same thing you are doing, try to educate people about sport. But then it's a dream that we've always shared as a young child growing up, and will help kids who give them opportunity we never had. We didn't have opportunity to compete in a lot of sports, whether it's cricket, basketball, flag football, rugby, whichever sport that is available. We didn't have such opportunities. But now these young boys and girls have had the opportunities of competing. Flag football came into this country officially 4 years ago, and now Akwa Ibom looks like a hub in terms of flag football. We've done a lot of job trying to develop these young lads. The girls are really a new side. The boys, 2 of them played in the last edition that we lost in the finals to the eventual defending champions. So it's virtually a new team. The girls were picked from virtually different sports. So, but then they understood that, look, they have to go there and win. And when we arrived in Calabar, the semi-finals was our target, but then we got better every single game. And incidentally, we're better than Lagos in the finals. And I told you earlier, Lagos have a lot of players who are already involved in the league, in the Showtime League in Lagos. They have a league there, but then we were far, far better than them in the finals. But then the technicalities and a lot of things didn't go our way. But it's all about development. As I tell them, they'll be back later next year or next edition for this competition. They are very young, JS3, JS2. That's why you could see some of the lads were happy seeing their classmates. Yes, the same class, wearing the same uniform, being at the national level. It's a dream come true for some of the children. The first time of them traveling for any competition, whether it's a local competition or a national competition. So it's a really interesting one. And then the motivation is very, very high. A lot of girls now, a lot of boys now want to involve themselves in sport. This morning, so many people have been coming. Look, sir, I want to do this sport. Sir, I want to do this sport. That is what we want. That is what Nigeria wants. That is what Akwa Ibom State wants.
All right. Thank you for a good perspective in that regard. What we're looking forward to and what everyone wants, especially Akwa Ibom and Nigeria, grassroots sports, and not just football. Now we're talking about American football. Well, Akademoko, before we get to talk about cricket, because something wonderful happened for Nigeria in the world of cricket. And last word, let's look at the development of American football and what the president is doing now. We've talked about it, if it was spoken about it the 4th time this tournament is taking place. And I was listening to the president recently talk about it. He said 9 teams participating in this one and what could happen even next. Talk to us about the growth of American football in Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you, Blyden. Just as if you did mention, it's also very, very important that everybody listening, watching should hear that. Opportunity is the biggest thing there. The opportunity is the biggest thing you can market for kids in this sport. Like the president did say, talking about Babajide, Mr. Babajide Okeredolu, he said that they have a lot of opportunity in the coaching, in the the career in playing. And they also have a partnership with the Cleveland's Brown, who happens to have a partnership with them and the flag football and American football here in Nigeria. So we have to do all that's necessary to support the young people that are coming into American football. So in terms of what we saw in Calabar, 9 states participated, 18 teams altogether, male and female. So it was beautiful to see the kids come out, and then the Deputy Governor of Cross River State was there with his entourage to witness the finals. It was massive, it was an interesting thing, and you can wrap it up with the reception that these boys received in their school. It was
boys and girls.
Yeah, boys and girls. And kudos to these people that supported that school, beginning from the principal, the games masters, and the coaches. And Community Secondary Commercial School, the Ibiakitam, has come to be a sport in a hub in football and cricket, and now American football. If you go to the field, you see the cricket pitch and cricket net there, and 2 of the girls from that school are making Nigeria proud in Malaysia.
Right. 2 of the girls are from Commercial Community Secondary School. I'm mixing it up. Community
Secondary Commercial School.
Community Secondary Commercial School. Absolutely. Community Secondary Commercial School, Ibiaku Itam, a government school in that regard, doing the state proud. And recently, just as Academy Okufre talked about, 2 of the girls there are participating for Team Nigeria at the Under-19 T20 ICC Cricket World Cup in Malaysia. And that takes us straight to the Cricket World Cup in Malaysia and the activities taking place. Well, last week we saw the beginning of the tournament in Malaysia. It was kind of exceptional perspective. First, it all started with the team preparing so well, and played against Scotland. It is with David, right? They played against Scotland, played against Pakistan, lost to Pakistan. I think they got a victory against Scotland, and are looking forward to the tournament proper. Many were wondering what could happen. The first time the Under-19 women's side is participating at this tournament of World Cup. Well, the first time out it happened was Under-19 side participating in the men's category and now the women's category. First match for them was against Samoa, and guess what? Rain did not allow the toss to even take place, and the game was disrupted. And 1 point shared a piece to the lads, and now took on early hours of the morning. They took on their opponent, New Zealand. And one was thinking, probably can they get their first win? Historically, it is. Winning New Zealand by 2 runs makes all the difference with weather.
Well, I'm quite excited about the very first win of the Nigerian side of the cricket scene. You can recall in the preparatory, game, Simon mentioned the very fact that I'm not looking at the results for the ladies, but I'm looking at, of course, the level of bond, level of momentum heading into the tournament proper. I think the very first 3
Are you not interested in result, but they've gotten it anyway?
The very first 3 friendlies, they won 1 and of course lost 2. And then I talked about the very fact that the ladies have actually, of course, understood themselves. They also understand the demands of the coach of the side as well. Looking at the very fact that both of them have also played in tournament heading to the World Cup proper. They understand the demands that comes with the game as well. And I'm quite excited about this victory. If you can get a powerhouse as big as New Zealand, definitely. You could also spoil you up to get the better of South Africa, who's in that same team. Talk less of Samoa. So I'm looking at them in pole position now to qualify to the next phase of the competition. The momentum is quite high, and I feel the ladies can actually do it.
Well, David feels the ladies can actually do it. Let's begin to look at the groups as the standings are so far. Well, Nigeria is in Group C. Group A, we'll talk about it. Group B of the World Cup, as well as Group C and Group D. But first, let's look at the different groups as they stand. Looking forward to the World Cup. Well, wondering which group is that anyway, but it makes all the difference to follow through. It has to be Group A, definitely. India at number 1 and number 2, Sri Lanka. India and Sri Lanka has played 1 game apiece. India topping it after 1 win. Sri Lanka also having 1 win. And Malaysia women at number 3. And number 4 is West Indies. Let's look at the second group. Group A indicates United States of America at number 1. United States doing quite well after playing 2 games of 1-1. And England also winning 1 after playing 2 games. And Pakistan women at number 3 and number 4 Ireland. Group C, where Nigeria belongs, to would be South Africa, topping the group. 2 games they've played, 2 wins they've had, getting the better of Samoa alongside getting the better of New Zealand. And Nigeria at number 2, 1 win it is and 1 draw for them. And Samoa at number 3, New Zealand at number 4. Well, we get to Ethiopia quickly. Ethiopia, let's look at the World Cup because the World Cup makes all the interest we're looking forward to. One of those concerns would be some of those nations that are not cricket nations are also standing tall, the likes of the United States of America. What do you make of the tournament so far?
It's a very exciting tournament. And I have to say, interestingly, a lot of people are saying Nigeria, this is the biggest shock in cricket I have seen in my life. That it reminds me of Zimbabwe versus Australia in the 2007 T20 edition. Nigeria beating New Zealand. I'm seeing people talk about South Africa. New Zealand were the seeded team in that group because they were the favorite to win the group. And Nigeria winning that game really shows that, look, there is a chance for cricket in Nigeria. Nigeria have qualified for the quarterfinals. I'm seeing people talking about it. We still need to beat South Africa. We still need to do this. We'll qualify for the quarterfinals because Samoa were the whipping girls in that group. But then they've lost their game. It was unfortunate for us. The rain stopped us from winning the first game. And then we beaten New Zealand, who were the favorite to qualify in that group. And now Nigeria through to the quarterfinals. Be that it may, it's a competition of surprise. The United States team have a lot of players from Indian and Pakistani descent, so that's why they are really doing well. And it's an underage competition, under 19, so it's not the big girls that are coming in. The Nigeria, Academo would know this, are using their big girls because most of this crop of girls have been around for a very long time. Paiti started playing cricket when she was 12. Ian has been around since she was 11 playing cricket. So they've been playing cricket for the past 5, 6, 7 years. So despite the fact that they are still under the age of 19 and they are going to the world and are really doing well, we hope that the girls can do better maybe when they get to the quarterfinal stages.
All right, if you're just out of it, now, according to your statement, you're saying that Nigeria's already qualified because I'm looking at the groupings now. They're number 2 in the groupings, and the last game could be against South Africa. You're saying no worries, they've qualified now?
They have qualified for the quarterfinal.
All right, if you're saying it's guaranteed they've qualified for the quarterfinal.
Get into the South African game and have fun. He knows. Academo knows what I'm saying. The net run rate, there's what we call net run rate. It really favors Nigeria. All what they need to do, get into the South African game and have fun. And I have to tell you this, Nigeria, the crop of girls playing in this Under-19 World Cup, defeated the South African senior team at the All-Africa Games just in Ghana. So they've played South Africa before, and they can still beat South Africa again.
All right. How many complications there, especially when you're looking at that speculation?
Yes, it's correct, I must say, because this group of girls have experience. They're underage. I can remember one of our girls, Pisu Sen, is one of our girls by birth, Akwa Ibomite, but of course born and brought up in Edo State. She was outstanding when it comes to the game in all African games in Accra, Ghana. So, like if you did say, most of these girls have had the experience similar to what the USA girls have had, because about 8 of the US team have played long international games. So most of our girls also, they started playing with the national team at age of 15, 17. So coming down to this tournament, we are not surprised with what they are saying. They are much toughened, they have had the experience, and they have a good coach that has helped them mentally and otherwise. So I'm not surprised that they can take on South Africa without a flinch.
All right, not many surprises from the guys. He felt so certain Nigeria's qualified and said, let them have fun in the last game and just go with it. The last game would be Nigeria against South Africa. Well, Kanemo Kufa echoing the same thing. And quickly before you get to talk about football stories around the world, well, in the world of tennis, it's been that of Madison Keys defeating Alina Rybakina, the 6-seeded player, and reaching the quarterfinals in this one. And similarly, Arena Sabalenka, world number 1, got in the debate of Mira Andreeva for a record tournament win. And the likes of Coco Gauff getting better of Belinda Bencic and qualifying for the quarterfinals of it. Coco Gauff going past Bencic in that direction. Novak Djokovic also easing past Laheka and setting Carlos Alcaraz's quarterfinal clash. It would be a big one. Just like the likes of Alexander Zverev and Paul, Paul get to meet in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open showdown. It's been a conversation. Similarly, many games took place in the world of NBA, but time will fail us to get to talk about all of them. Well, a quick substitution will take place after now. For the team, I will join the conversation, and Kanemo Kufre are being substituted. And thank you, Kanemo Kufre, for being a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. A pleasure to have you.
Yeah, a pleasure to have you. It's been a massive conversation. And thank you for upgrading them. I would love to have you in the conversation looking at football stories, but next time, stick and have a wonderful time ahead. We'll go on that quick break, and when we're back, it will be football stories all around the world.